Look around our sprawling modern metropolises. We currently possess the most advanced and incredible technology in the entire history of human existence. We construct colossal skyscrapers that pierce the clouds, and we engineer massive steel suspension bridges capable of supporting the weight of thousands of vehicles simultaneously. Because of this, we genuinely believe that our modern infrastructure is absolutely invincible and will stand the test of time forever. But here lies a deeply humiliating and bitter truth that the construction industry rarely talks about. Our modern concrete begins to decay, rot, and fall apart the very second it cures. It physically degrades from the inside out, and its average lifespan is barely a pathetic 50 years before it requires massive, expensive overhauls. Therefore, we are forced to spend billions of dollars annually just to keep our modern cities from literally crumbling down on our heads. But exactly 2,000 years ago, the brilliant engineers of ancient Rome built enormous harbor walls and breakwaters that have been constantly, day after day, battered by brutal ocean waves and highly aggressive corrosive saltwater. According to all the established laws of modern physics and engineering, these ancient structures should have been completely erased from the face of the earth many centuries ago. But they are still standing in their original places today, openly mocking our modern hubris and our so-called technological progress. And what is most astonishing is that they are not just miraculously surviving in this incredibly hostile environment. They are actually growing significantly stronger as time passes. For decades, the greatest scientific minds of our generation puzzled over this seemingly impossible reality, as it felt much more like ancient magic or mythical alchemy than real science. But recently, researchers finally managed to crack the chemical code of this immortal building material, and what they discovered under their microscopes completely shatters all our established preconceptions about the absolute limits of human ingenuity. To truly comprehend the monumental scale of the Roman miracle, you must first understand the incredibly arrogant mistake that plagues all of modern structural engineering. Today, we design our reinforced concrete to act as a solid, passive, and entirely dead barrier against the elements. We pump it full of thick steel rebar skeletons from the inside, and we naively expect it to eternally fight off the relentless forces of nature. Therefore, our modern buildings are always trapped in a state of continuous, violent siege, and eventually, nature always wins the war. But the ancient Romans possessed a completely different, truly revolutionary architectural philosophy. They never attempted to build stubborn fortresses just to pointlessly resist the surrounding environment. Instead, they actively created sophisticated materials that entered into a full, dynamic partnership with nature itself. Their greatest engineering secret started with one highly specific and remarkably rare ingredient: a unique volcanic ash known as pozzolana, which they harvested in absolutely massive quantities directly from the menacing shadow of Mount Vesuvius. They carefully mixed this chemically hyperactive ash with quicklime and ordinary seawater. For many years, modern scientists arrogantly assumed that this was just a primitive, messy, and entirely accidental ancient recipe. But they were completely blind to the true, underlying genius of this ancient design. The Romans did not simply mix together a static, artificial rock. They purposefully engineered a complex material that was chemically alive and reactive. They deliberately designed their sprawling maritime harbors with the specific expectation that the furious, corrosive ocean would not simply bounce off their walls. On the contrary, that highly aggressive seawater became the exact, necessary fuel required by the concrete to trigger and continuously power its hidden, millennial strength. Just try to imagine an entirely unique building material that actually knows how to bleed, and then automatically heals its own structural wounds, functioning exactly like a living, breathing, biological organism. In our highly advanced modern world, When corrosive seawater inevitably breaches the outer surface of ordinary concrete, the aggressive salt instantly penetrates deep inside and mercilessly attacks the internal steel skeleton. That steel rebar rapidly begins to rust. It violently expands in volume, and it literally tears the entire concrete structure apart from the inside out, piece by piece. This is exactly why our modern piers and coastal infrastructure fail so quickly. But Roman concrete features absolutely no internal steel core whatsoever. Therefore, when aggressive seawater violently forces its way straight through the microscopic internal cracks of an ancient Roman pier, it does not cause a catastrophic structural collapse. Instead, that invading water triggers an absolutely breathtaking and highly complex chemical chain reaction. The intruding salt water slowly begins to dissolve the trapped volcanic ash and the quicklime, thereby immediately sparking the spontaneous, rapid growth of incredibly rare, interlocking mineral formations, known to modern science as al-tobermorite crystals. These microscopic, crystallographic structures act exactly like a powerful human biological immune system. As the brutal ocean water continues to relentlessly flow deep into the structural fracture, these rare crystals aggressively expand and grow wider, physically stitching the torn edges of the crack back together and permanently locking the entire structure into an even tighter, immensely rigid grid. The very same ocean waves that try day after day to violently rip the Roman concrete to pieces are brilliantly tricked into forging microscopic, impenetrable armor for it, making the ancient harbor significantly stronger with every single passing century. But this astonishing historical mystery did not simply end with the brilliant use of reactive volcanic ash. For many long centuries, historians, archaeologists, and structural architects continually noticed tiny, blindingly white chunks scattered randomly throughout the entire volume of ancient Roman concrete structures. Modern scientists and engineers spent a very long time arrogantly dismissing these so-called lime clasts, considering them to be nothing more than clear, undeniable evidence of sloppy, primitive, and highly inferior ancient mixing techniques. But one absolutely revolutionary, groundbreaking recent scientific study definitively proved that we were completely wrong on all possible fronts. These stark white chunks turned out not to be manufacturing defects or signs of laziness at all. They were, in fact, a brilliantly engineered, completely intentional, fail-safe mechanism. The Romans purposefully utilized an incredibly dangerous and highly volatile construction technique known as hot mixing. During this intense process, they directly added dry, highly reactive quicklime straight into the raw concrete mixture at extremely high temperatures. Therefore, they deliberately created a fragile yet chemically hyperactive reserve of pure calcium, forever trapped deep inside the artificial stone. Why on earth would they do this? Because the genius Roman engineers perfectly understood that regular seismic earthquakes and the natural inevitable settling of the earth would eventually send microscopic cracks running right through their magnificent buildings. But the moment a new microfracture forms deep inside a Roman wall, intruding water instantly rushes down the path of least resistance, straight into these hidden, highly reactive lime pockets. Once there, the water violently reacts with the dormant calcium, instantly generating a supersaturated, powerful healing fluid that rapidly crystallizes and permanently seals the dangerous fracture in just a matter of weeks. And remarkably, all of this happens long before the entire building ever has a chance to fatally collapse. It is a completely flawless, brilliantly self-activating repair system. This stunning, ancient revelation from the distant past now forces us all to confront an extremely uncomfortable and deeply painful modern reality. All of our highly praised, multi-billion-dollar modern infrastructure sits at the absolute, ultimate peak of its structural strength, on the exact day that the builders finally take down the surrounding scaffolding. Starting from that very specific moment in time, our modern buildings immediately enter a permanent, irreversible stage of slowly dying, crumbling, and decaying. But ancient Roman concrete operates in the exact opposite manner. It is actually at its most vulnerable and weakest state on the very day it is poured into its wooden forms, after which it embarks on an incredible, millennial journey of slow, continuous, and unstoppable structural growth. It was precisely this profound, brilliant philosophy, choosing to intelligently harness nature and utilize its boundless energy rather than pointlessly trying to wage war against it, that allowed the Roman Empire to successfully conquer the entire known world. Therefore, their great, undeniable architectural legacy is literally cemented directly into the very fabric of our planet. Today, modern global cement production stands as one of the most catastrophic and destructive ecological polluters on Earth, entirely responsible for a massive, terrifying percentage of global carbon dioxide emissions. But if we can finally manage to swallow our stubborn modern pride and actively adopt this brilliant 2,000-year-old Roman engineering blueprint, we have the genuine potential to completely revolutionize the way humanity interacts with our planet. We could realistically build self-healing, immortal cities that would radically reduce harmful greenhouse emissions and proudly stand tall for entire millennia. We finally hold the proven, undeniable recipe for true architectural immortality right in our hands. And now, humanity is left with only one single, highly critical question to answer. Are we finally brave enough to start building for eternity, or will we cowardly continue to build only for tomorrow?